guys, here we are, part 3, and the series as a whole. And as you can tell, I am going to miss this show. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. The Legend of Korra was beautiful. It was a masterpiece in its own right. Now, some people have said that this is better than The Last Airbender. I'm not one of those people. Now, that's good you think that, because it's your opinion. You're entitled to judge a show how you feel it needs to be judged. That's what Michael and Brian want you to do. The writers and creators of this show want. But to me, this and Last Airbender are two completely different things. Well, yes, Legend of Korra continues the journey of the Avatar from The Last Airbender, and it has some of the Last Airbender characters. Katara, Zuko, Iroh, Toph, Aang, Sokka. We all see them, but it feels like whenever we saw them on screen, we were seeing what they were up to and how they've grown, and we were seeing them for the last time. And honestly, guys, I enjoyed it. I mean, the reason why The Last Airbender was so great, it was because it was a show that didn't feel like 3 seasons. To me, it felt like one big book that was split up into 3 books. But whenever you would watch the next season, it wasn't like it was continuing what happened from the next season. It was like turning the next page. And you were still sucked in, and it was a book that never took you out of the mood. It pretty much made you an experience and captivated you into your wonderfulest imagination. If that makes any sense, then good. And to me, Last Airbender is like one of my favorite Steven Spielberg movies of all time, Lincoln. It had great heart, great action, great dialogue, great history in its own way. It had amazing, heartwarming moments, great chemistry from everyone and everything, and it ended up coming to full circle, but without us actually seeing it come to the full circle. While Legend of Korra is taking place for one of my other favorite Steven Spielberg films, the Indiana Jones trilogy, not the 4th one, I hate that one, where it had great humor, great action, great suspense, great heartwarming moments, and it had great voice acting. And overall, it took us on a journey, and each time we would continue the journey, and we would be captivated, and we would love every second of it. You see my point here? These two aren't even the same coin here. They're not two sides of the same coin. They're two different coins, but they're just told differently. And that's how I think I would rather see it. And I think that's how some people see it. Legend of Korra was a journey that was worth taking. And in the end, it managed to leave us with a great heart experience. And that's probably why I love the series finale so much. I mean, yes, there were nitpicks, but overall, I pushed the critic inside of me, and I just let the kid inside of me watch and enjoy what I was watching. And obviously, you know, it worked pretty good. I mean, Last Airbender, this, and this, the reason why it was good is because it flew so together. It had a flow like water. You tasted it, and it tasted refreshing. But then when you watched it, it was beautiful. With Legend of Korra, it was like looking up at the sky and just seeing nothing but your journey come to life. And obviously, that is why I choose to pretty much like Legend of Korra rather than just like it just because it was awesome. I do like it because it was awesome, but I liked it because it gave me something that I hadn't seen since The Last Airbender. And I'm really sad that this series has to go. But who knows? Maybe, you know, if we do get this somewhere down the line, hopefully we'll get comics that take place after this, or a direct-to-DVD video. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, this was a great series. I loved it. I really did, guys. I mean, obviously, this show deserves a lot more credit than I'm giving it, because it was written by the same people who let us write it. It wasn't written by people at Nickelodeon. It was written by two guys who wanted us to write it, and us to judge it, and us to take it for what it was worth. And we did. We took it for what it was worth. We loved every second of it, and that's why they kept going. They kept it going to 4 seasons, which is something that, if you remember, The Last Airbender couldn't do, because Michael and Brian felt the story needed to be expanded to just 3 seasons, because obviously it worked. I mean, look at how well it turned out. Each time I watch it, I mean, it really feels like I'm turning the next page of the book. And I'm not just putting in a DVD or watching it on TV. No, I'm actually reading and watching the book come to life in my mind. Or on the screen, if you will. And it was a beautiful experience. And this was no different. But the reason why I think some people will disagree with, Korra and Asami, I'm not trying to... I discussed this in my last video, go watch that. It's probably because they don't see the way we see it. And that's fine. If you don't like this series overall, you're entitled to your opinion. But just don't hate it just to hate it, guys. I mean, you guys have the ability to judge it the way you see it. That's how Michael and Brian want it. The creators wanted us to judge it and take it for what it was worth, and we did. Again, I'm not trying to repeat myself here, but we did. We took it for what it was worth, and we enjoyed one hell of a show. And it was probably one of Nickelodeon's best shows of all time. And it proved again that, this show stood strong, and it appealed to every part of your fan base and my fan base alone. And oddly enough, that's pretty damn good in my opinion, because, a fan base is hard to get up off the ground. But as soon as Michael and Brian gave us this show, it literally lifted off the ground. And yes, the fan base will keep this show going. We will keep the show going. We will remember it. We will show it to our kids. And we will go back and look at it with grace and beauty. And not criticize it for what it could have been. Because as I said, it wasn't trying to be Last Airbender. To quote Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, you just can't beat the original. If Legend of Korra had a movie, it wouldn't be better than the original. It could try. But you would have to give somebody who was willing to go to that much depth to try and make it like the show. But also make it original in its own way, without having it have to copy it from the show, shot for shot. And immediately, it just can't be done. It's like trying to sing an orchestra with your fingers. You just can't. And oddly enough, I think I enjoyed this more than anyone did. And I'll never, ever forget it. And of course, someday I'll buy all 4 seasons. I don't even have the other 3, so who knows. But overall, guys, this was a pretty damn good show. It had everything you could expect. And the 4th season is personally my favorite. I liked the other 3 seasons. I said I liked both season 3 and 4, but I liked this one most because it paced so well. It took its time. It let you breathe, and it let itself breathe. And it told a magnificent story for a magnificent ending. And it never once had to resort to anything you would see coming. Because that's not how it should have ended. That's not how we wanted it to end. That's not how Michael and Brian wanted it to end. We wanted it to end the way we thought, or at least we knew it was going to end. And Michael and Brian did not disappoint. And the reason why they left off on that ambiguous ending, and the reason why they love to do this overall, is because they like to let us write. They like to let us judge it for ourselves, instead of having the people at Nickelodeon or anyone else judge it. it's almost like we are the writers, guys. That's what makes this and Last Airbender so great. And while yes, there hopefully maybe will be something else that'll come after this. Hopefully we'll get to see Legend of Korra one more time. But I will say, guys, I love this series. I would highly recommend you go check out the whole series and just enjoy it. Just take it for what it's worth and enjoy it. Well, guys, that's it. It's kind of fitting that, you know, this ended a week before, actually 2 weeks before I'm beginning to end. And I will come back, but I think, like this show, I'll be stronger than ever. And I'll try and let you guys judge my videos for yourselves. Because in a way, that's great writing itself. That's how you could become a great writer. Or a great YouTuber. So, yeah, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all for watching my Legend of Korra reviews. Just thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I'm proud. And I'm very proud to give my opinions to you guys. And I'm glad you guys like it. And I would never try and shove it down your throats. You're entitled to your opinion, and you'll always be entitled to your opinion. Because that's what makes you human. Until then, guys, this is Richard Kenobi saying, be here, my friends. Thank you all for watching. Have a happy holidays, and good night.